Hi, and a very warm welcome to Hamilton Central Model Railway. For my birthday in 1981, my dad took us on a drive and didn't tell us where we were going, and eventually parked at Linlithgow, and from there we got on the train to Edinburgh Waverley. And the genius of doing that was that the train took us past Haymarket, where there was always a pretty good chance of seeing a Deltic. And we did, and we saw 55002 in the unique green livery that it was running around in at the time. We got to Waverley and I saw my first up-close Deltic, which was 55008 Green Howards. And to see one of these locomotives up close for real, absolutely huge, imposing, brilliant noise off them, iconic, fast, express locomotives. I loved them even before I actually got to see them. So a really, really special locomotive to me. And we were able to, with regular visits to Waverley, I was able to see most of the Deltics that were in service at that time, in the sort of tail end of their service career at the end of 1981. There are quite a few in preservation, and the most recent one that I saw was D9009 Alycidon, which caught us by surprise when we'd gone to see Tornado at Drem on the East Coast mainline, and Alycidon followed Tornado up, and as we were walking back to the car, quickly grabbed the camera and got a couple of snaps of it as it went past. In 2019, I pre-ordered 55002 in the 1981 green livery, and also D9009 Alycidon in the current mainline running livery of blue, and they turned up yesterday. The first thing that really struck me about these locomotives is that they just look right. There's something about the real Deltics, there's a real imposing sort of presence to them. They are huge locomotives, they tower over you, and they almost look as though they are looking over their nose down at you, and these models somehow seem to capture that. And to me personally, that's what I want from these models. I want them to capture in miniature form these two locomotives that have meant a lot to me over the years, and they absolutely nail it. They mechanically, 5-pole motor, massive flywheels, pickups on all wheels. They run beautifully, they run really smoothly. You know, what more could you ask for a locomotive? £160 each. In these days, you know, that's a good price for any locomotive. But a locomotive of this quality, they run in at 800 grams as well. I mean, this is a quality, top quality model. Astonishing. Absolutely delighted with the pair of them. There are a lot of differences between these two. You know, they might both be Deltics, but one of them's from 1981, the other one's current day. Lots of subtle differences. The lighting, the headlighting, the modern headlight that we've got in 009. The buffer beam detail is different between the two models. The windows, one's plated over, one isn't. 2 windscreen wipers, 1 windscreen wiper. They've really done their homework. They've really gone to town in making sure that these models look right. There are lots and lots of tiny little bits of detail. Personally, it's not what I like in models. I don't really dig super detail. I want a model that looks right. I want a model that runs well. I don't want a model that I have to handle very, very carefully to pick up with kid gloves. I want to enjoy running my models. And I think detail goes a little bit too far. And this is the kind of one negative side that I've found with these locomotives, is there are a lot of really delicate separate fitted parts, and pretty much every time I've picked the locomotives up, something's fallen off them. A lot of it I've not refitted, I'll keep it. And, you know, I kind of hope that at some point the manufacturers, in an effort to reduce costs, give us the option to say, we'll give you all these extra bits in a bag. If you want to fit them yourself, you can. If you don't, you can leave them off. Me, I would leave a lot of them off. Says the man that spent 2 hours last night fitting the buffer beam detail. That was a faff. Traditionally, we poke them into holes in the buffer beam, and we can hold them in with PVA glue. These don't have holes. There's sort of little slots that they go in. They don't fit securely. You need to use CA with them. I don't like using CA on the models. I got a couple of spots in places that I didn't want it to go. But the buffer beam detail, I think, is a really striking feature of the real Deltics, and it's something that I wanted to fit. We get metal nameplates with both of them as well. 9009 has tiny, tiny little metal builder's plates that go at the cabs. 002 doesn't, because it didn't have them fitted at the time. 002 has got the York shed crest that was on at the time. There are masses of little details between the two types that, this isn't just one model in two different colours. They're two completely different models. Absolutely wonderful. Delighted with them. Just everything about them's quality, and I think, Accurascale, good on you. I've bought several Accurascale products over the last few years. This is the first locomotive, and they've picked an icon, and they've done a really good job on this iconic locomotive. Let's have a look at how it stacks up against older models. So first off is my old, well-loved Lima Class 55. This is a Accurascale one, and then side on compared to the old Lima one, 40-year-old model. It's not too bad. It still looks like a Deltic. Front-wise, with a bit of weathering, it still looks pretty convincing. And obviously the Accurascale, much higher fidelity, much sharper. But for a 40-year-old model, my old Lima one still cuts the mustard. And here we've got the Bachmann one. This is the Deltic Preservation 008. And dimensionally, it looks pretty good. The colours are good. The front detail, I think, is probably where the Accurascale does have a bit of the edge. It just has something about it that gives it that real Deltic look. But it's still a really nice model, and because it doesn't have as many delicate, separately fitted parts on it, it's a little bit more robust, and both it and the Lima model are still well loved, and we're still going to run them on the layout. They're just going to make a team up with the new kids on the block, the new Accurascale models. Let's see them running around the layout. And thanks again for watching.